Guys, can you believe it? Venomous cobras are actually afraid of these tough guys in the wild. Don't just know about honey badgers anymore. Today, we're unlocking for super underrated natural enemies of venomous snakes. Some rely on brute force to overwhelm. Some win with speed, and the smallest is only a few centimeters long but can easily take down venomous snakes. Curious about who these hidden kings are? Don't go anywhere. The content ahead will definitely subvert your perceptions. Many of you might not know that the predator-prey relationships in nature are not simply who eats whom. They are the core link maintaining the stability of the entire ecosystem. Venomous snakes are secondary consumers in the food chain. Their population directly affects the survival of small animals like mice and frogs, which in turn impacts species higher up the chain. The well-known natural enemies of venomous snakes we're familiar with either have highly entertaining behaviors or frequently appear in human activity areas, so they get more attention. But tough guys like mongooses, crested serpent eagles, wild boars, and even tiny giant mantises, all capable of easily handling venomous snakes, have been overlooked for various reasons. This just goes to show that biodiversity in nature is far more complex than we imagine. From a scientific research perspective, these underrated natural enemies are actually extremely valuable. For a long time, scientists mainly focused on large mammals and birds of prey when studying snake predators, paying little attention to small mammals and insects. It wasn't until recent years, with the advancement of technologies like infrared photography and satellite tracking, that the snake hunting behaviors of these underrated hunters have been clearly recorded, providing a wealth of new evidence for studying coevolution between species. For example, in the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia, it's precisely because of mongooses that cobra populations don't overexpand, to the point of wiping out small animals like mice, allowing birds of prey and beasts that feed on mice to survive. Meanwhile, on the edges of African savannas, giant mantises preying on small venomous snakes help regulate snake population structures at a micro level, reducing the predation pressure on frogs and lizards by young venomous snakes. What's even more interesting is that the snake hunting abilities of these underrated natural enemies didn't come out of nowhere. They evolved gradually through millions of years of natural selection. The physical structure and behavioral patterns of each hunter form a precise counter to the defensive mechanisms of venomous snakes. Like an endless arms race. Take the mongoose's venom resistance. For instance, during long-term coexistence with venomous snakes, the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors in their bodies underwent specific mutations. Early mongooses without this mutation could barely survive encounters with venomous snakes, while those with the mutation survived and reproduced. Over time, venom resistance became a common trait in mongoose populations. This kind of evolution isn't unique to mongooses and snakes. The evolution of the crested serpent eagle's protective scales and venomous snake's fangs, and the game between the giant mantis's reaction speed and the venomous snake's attack speed, are all manifestations of this arms race, and the scenes are absolutely fascinating. Moreover, learning about these underrated natural enemies helps us break many inherent perceptions and enhance our awareness of ecological protection. For example, many people think wild boars are pests that destroy crops, and giant mantises are just ordinary beneficial insects, never imagining they can regulate snake populations. In fact, in some mountainous areas in southern China, overhunting once led to a sharp decline in wild boar numbers, resulting in a significant increase in cobras and five-step vipers, and a rise in venomous snake attacks on humans. In contrast, in the Xishuangbanna National Nature Reserve in Yunnan, effective protection of the giant mantis's habitat has greatly reduced the predation pressure on amphibians like frogs by young venomous snakes, leading to a noticeable increase in frog populations over 3 years. This shows that these seemingly insignificant, underrated natural enemies are indispensable components of the ecosystem. Their living conditions are directly related to human production, life, and ecological security. Additionally, Studying these underrated natural enemies can bring new inspiration to biomedicine and materials science. For example, the structure of the venom-resistant receptors in mongooses has provided an important molecular model for developing new antivenom serums. The protective scales on the crested serpent eagle's legs have extremely strong puncture resistance at the microstructural level. Research teams have imitated this structure to develop new protective materials, which have been used in outdoor adventure equipment, greatly enhancing the equipment's ability to resist sharp objects. You see, these creatures in nature have long provided us with many ideas for solving problems. In-depth research on them is also of great help to the development of human society. Next, we'll introduce these underrated hunters one by one, starting with the mongoose, which specifically targets highly venomous snakes. Mongooses are recognized as precise hunters in numerous field research records. Taxonomically, they belong to the genus Herpists in the family Herpestidae. With the scientific name Herpists, it wardsy a species name confirmed by authoritative taxonomy. They mainly inhabit tropical and subtropical forests and grasslands in South and Southeast Asia, with a small number of distribution records in border areas of Yunnan, Guangxi, and Guangdong in China. According to a 2018 scientific expedition report by the Wildlife Institute of India, adult mongooses typically measure 40 to 60 centimeters in body length, with a tail almost equal in length to the body, and weigh between 1.5 to 2.5 kilograms. This size balances agility and strength, allowing them to quickly navigate through jungle crevices to track venomous snakes while maintaining balance during battles. Furthermore, their short brown fur blends well with the jungle environment, enabling them to approach prey stealthily. The mongoose's core advantage is its ability to neutralize neurotoxins, a capability fully deciphered by molecular biology research. In 2020, a study published in the authoritative journal Nature Communications mentioned that the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors in mongooses have undergone specific mutations. Simply put, venomous snakes' neurotoxins are lethal because they occupy the positions of nerve receptors in our bodies, blocking the transmission of nerve signals, which ultimately leads to muscle paralysis and respiratory failure. However, once the mongoose's receptors mutate, the neurotoxins become like a key that can't find its lock and are completely ineffective. Scientists comparing the gene sequences of mongooses with other herpestid species found that this mutation first appeared approximately 5 million years ago, coinciding with the evolutionary timeline of highly venomous snakes like cobras and banded krites in the region. This further confirms that it is a result of coevolution between species. It's important to note, however, that the mongoose's venom resistance is not universal. They have relatively weak resistance to hemotoxins. Fortunately, they mainly prey on neurotoxin-dominant snakes like cobras and banded krites, so this level of venom resistance is sufficient for their survival. The mongoose's snake hunting behavior is also highly regular. A research team from the Kerala Wildlife Sanctuary in India conducted 18 months of infrared tracking on 12 adult mongooses and found that their snake hunting activities are mainly concentrated between 6 to 8 a.m. and 6 to 8 p.m., the peak active periods for venomous snakes like cobras. Before hunting, mongooses use their well-developed olfactory system to accurately locate prey, detecting the pheromone trails left by snakes. Once a target is locked, they don't attack immediately. Instead, they circle the snake slowly, wagging their tails and making low-pitched calls. This isn't provocation, it's an assessment of the snake's size and condition to find the optimal attack moment. When mongooses launch an attack, their speed and precision are astonishing. According to high-speed camera data, the mongoose's attack speed is significantly faster than that of cobras, and this slight speed difference is the key to their victory. Moreover, mongooses always target the snake's head during attacks, as the brain is the nervous system's control center. Once controlled, the venomous snake loses all ability to resist. Research records show that after biting the snake's head, the mongoose immediately adjusts its body posture, pinning the snake's body to the ground with its front paws to prevent being wrapped around. When facing larger venomous snakes, mongooses also use a wear-down tactic, repeatedly pulling and shaking the snake to exhaust its energy before feeding. Many people say mongooses have an obsession with eliminating snakes. This isn't an exaggeration, but a behavior with clear survival significance. Researchers have found that mongooses have strong territorial instincts. An adult mongoose's territory spans approximately 2 to 3 square kilometers. Within this territory, venomous snakes are regarded as major threats. They not only compete for food like mice and frogs but also endanger their young. Therefore, mongooses actively eliminate all venomous snakes in their territory. Even if they're already full, they'll leave the hunted snakes at the territory boundary to warn other snakes not to enter. In 2019, researchers observed an adult female mongoose in India's primeval forest that hunted 5 cobras in a week while raising her young, leaving 4 around her nest and eating only 1. This fully demonstrates that the core purpose of mongooses eliminating venomous snakes is to ensure the safety of themselves and their offspring. Furthermore, this behavior of mongooses triggers a chain reaction in the local ecosystem. Removing venomous snakes helps maintain mouse populations at a reasonable level, preventing overgrazing of vegetation by excessive mice. After talking about the mongoose on the ground, let's move on to the snake hunting king of the sky, the crested serpent eagle. Both the physical structure and snake hunting behavior of the crested serpent eagle have evolved to adapt to aerial hunting environments. Taxonomically, it belongs to the genus Spilornis in the family Accipitridae, with the scientific name Spilornis chila. There are 20 to 21 subspecies worldwide, widely distributed in tropical and subtropical regions of Asia and Africa, but not in Oceania. In China, there are 4 subspecies, mainly inhabiting mountain forests and river valleys. According to 2021 observation data from the Institute of Zoology, Chinese Academy of Sciences, adult crested serpent eagles measure 60 to 75 centimeters in body length, weigh 2 to 3 kilograms, and have a wingspan of 1.8 to 2.5 meters. While medium-sized among birds of prey, their precise hunting skills make them top natural enemies of venomous snakes. They have a black head, dark brown back and wings, and a white belly with black horizontal stripes. This plumage allows them to blend into the sky background while circling at high altitudes, enabling clear observation of ground prey. The crested serpent eagle's ability to easily hunt venomous snakes relies entirely on its specialized snake hunting equipment, sharp talons, and leg scales. Anatomical studies clearly show that the crested serpent eagle's talons are made of keratin, with extremely sharp tips that can easily pierce a venomous snake's body. Furthermore, the surface of the talons is covered with tiny barbs. Once prey is caught, these barbs embed deeply into the prey's tissues, making escape impossible. Even more impressively, the talons are retracted during flight to reduce air resistance, and extended during hunting to maximize piercing power. The leg scales of the crested serpent eagle are overlapping with minimal gaps and sufficient thickness, effectively blocking venom penetration and reducing friction when wrapped by snakes, equivalent to wearing specialized snake-proof armor. The crested serpent eagle's hunting process is highly logical and entertaining, divided into 6 stages: patrolling, targeting, diving, capturing, subduing, and feeding. First, during the patrolling stage, the eagle circles 50 to 100 meters above the ground. Its visual system has extremely strong resolution, allowing it to clearly see prey from high altitudes. The eagle's eyes contain a large number of cone cells and can perceive ultraviolet light, enabling it to quickly locate venomous snakes hiding in grass or tree branches in complex jungle environments. Once a target is locked, the eagle adjusts its flight posture, folds its wings, and descends rapidly in a diving motion. When approaching the ground, it suddenly spreads its wings to slow down. while extending its talons to accurately grasp the snake's midsection, a vulnerable area where the snake cannot counterattack quickly and can be firmly controlled. After catching the snake, the crested serpent eagle immediately flies upward with it. This serves two purposes: avoiding the prey being stolen by other ground predators and subduing the snake in the air. If the snake attempts to wrap around the eagle's talons, the eagle will flap its wings and adjust its body posture to eliminate the snake's leverage. It then gradually exhausts the snake's energy by adjusting the grip of its talons and body position until the snake loses the ability to resist. Wildlife photographers have captured footage of an adult crested serpent eagle subduing a 1.5-meter-long king cobra. Through several posture adjustments, the eagle quickly overpowered the king cobra. After subduing, the eagle carries the snake to a nest or safe tree branch to feed, first pecking at the snake's head to crush it, then swallowing it whole from the head down. The eagle's esophagus has extremely strong elasticity, capable of accommodating prey 3 times the size of its head. The entire feeding process typically lasts 15 to 30 minutes. Studies on the crested serpent eagle's diet show that snakes account for over 60% of its food, with the remaining consisting of frogs, mice, birds, and other small animals. The types of snakes hunted vary by region, mainly cobras and banded krites in Southeast Asia, cobras and puff adders in Africa, and cobras, 5-step vipers, and rat snakes in China. Additionally, the crested serpent eagle's breeding behavior is closely linked to snake hunting. Their breeding season occurs from March to June each year. Before the female lays eggs, the male hunts a large number of venomous snakes, bringing the snake meat back to the nest to nourish the female. During incubation, both parents take turns guarding the nest while continuing to hunt snakes to stock up on food for the soon-to-hatch chicks. After hatching, the chicks rely primarily on snake meat brought by their parents until they learn to fly. Approximately 3 months later, they begin learning snake hunting skills under the guidance of their parents. The next hunter we'll introduce has a completely different style from the mongoose and crested serpent eagle, the wild boar, a rough and tough snake hunting expert that relies on brute force. The wild boar's snake hunting ability stems mainly from its strong physical protection and immense brute force, which has been confirmed by numerous field observations and scientific studies. Wild boars belong to the genus Sus in the family Suidae and are widely distributed terrestrial mammals, found in most provinces of China except for a few regions like the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. Adult wild boars measure 1.5 to 2 meters in body length, weigh 100 to 200 kilograms, and have distinctive physical features: a large head accounting for 1/3 of their total body length, a protruding snout with a hard nasal bone capable of easily digging through hard soil, thick, stiff bristles on their back and neck up to 10 centimeters long, colored black or brown, and skin 1 to 2 centimeters thick, with a 0.5 to 1 centimeter thick fat layer underneath. This triple protection of skin plus bristles plus fat serves as a natural barrier against venomous snakes. From a scientific perspective, the wild boar's skin is not only thick but also highly tough, effectively resisting penetration by venomous snake fangs. Additionally, the skin surface is covered with tiny keratinized protrusions that disperse the pressure of the fangs, further reducing the probability of penetration. Even large venomous snakes struggle to pierce the wild boar's skin and fat layer. This super strong protective ability is the core reason wild boars gain the upper hand when encountering venomous snakes. Wild boars hunting venomous snakes is mostly an accidental behavior, usually occurring when they encounter snakes while foraging. Wild boars are typical omnivores with a broad diet, feeding on plant roots, fruits, seeds, insects, frogs, mice, small birds, and more. According to field observation data, wild boars mainly forage in the early morning and evening, spending long hours foraging and covering large areas. When digging for food in the soil, if they encounter a venomous snake hiding underground, they will immediately launch an attack. The attack method is simple and direct. First, they use their hard nasal bone to flip the snake into the air, disrupting its balance, then pierce the snake's body with their sharp tusks. Adult male wild boars have curved tusks up to 10 to 15 centimeters long, with extremely sharp tips that can easily tear through a venomous snake's tissues. During the hunting process, wild boars rely entirely on brute force suppression without any complex tactics. After being flipped into the air, the venomous snake will undoubtedly attempt to counterattack. But due to the wild boar's strong skin protection, it cannot inflict any harm. At this point, the wild boar continues to strike with its nasal bone and stomp with its hooves until the snake is completely motionless. Field observation records show that an adult wild boar can hunt a 50-centimeter-long, 5-step viper in less than 2 minutes. After confirming the snake is dead, the wild boar carries it to the side, chews it up with its teeth, and swallows it. It's important to note that wild boars do not specialize in eating snakes. Snakes account for less than 1% of their diet. Hunting venomous snakes is mostly a defensive behavior to eliminate threats encountered while foraging. The claim that wild boars can find herbs to detoxify themselves after being bitten by venomous snakes has not been scientifically confirmed. However, researchers have detected a special protein in wild boar blood that can neutralize small amounts of snake venom components, especially hemotoxins like those from 5-step vipers. Relevant studies indicate that this protein can only alleviate the damage caused by some snake venoms, not fully detoxify them. This means wild boars are not completely immune to snake venom. They can still die if bitten by multiple venomous snakes or extremely venomous species. Additionally, wild boars have a huge appetite. Adult wild boars eat 5 to 8 kilograms of food per day. A small venomous snake is at most an appetizer for them, far from meeting their energy needs. Nevertheless, their large appetite also allows wild boars to act as scavengers in the ecosystem, consuming a large amount of plant residues and small animal carcasses to promote material circulation. Last but not least, the most surprising hunter, the tiny giant mantis. Actually a snake hunting expert, can be called a miniature snake hunting king. Records of giant mantises hunting venomous snakes are common, making them a special case of environmental adaptation in the insect world. Giant mantises belong to the family Mantidae in the order Mantidea, mainly including species like the African green giant mantis, Chinese giant mantis, and broadaxe mantis. Among them, the African green giant mantis is one of the largest mantis species, with adult individuals reaching 8 to 10 centimeters in length, inhabiting tropical grasslands and forests in Africa. The Chinese giant mantis measures 6 to 9 centimeters in length and is distributed in most regions of China and Southeast Asia. Giant mantises have green or brown bodies that blend highly with the surrounding plant environment. This mimicry helps them hide from natural enemies and ambush prey. The giant mantis's core weapon for hunting snakes is its forelegs, specialized predatory tools with unique structures. Each foreleg consists of 5 segments: coxa, trochanter, femur, tibia, and tarsus. The femur and tibia are covered with sharp spines. When hunting, the giant mantis quickly extends its forelegs to firmly grasp the prey, with the spines piercing deep into the prey's body. At the same time, the tibia bends toward the femur, forming a clamp-like structure to fix the prey securely. Furthermore, the forelegs of giant mantises are extremely powerful, capable of holding small prey several times their own size. Fast reaction speed is the key advantage that allows giant mantises to hunt venomous snakes. Entomological research shows that giant mantises have an extremely fast reaction speed, much faster than the attack speed of venomous snakes, enabling them to launch an ambush before the snake can strike. Additionally, giant mantises have well-developed visual systems. Their heads are equipped with a pair of large compound eyes, each composed of thousands of ommatidia, allowing them to observe the surrounding environment in all directions and perceive the movement trajectory of objects. When a venomous snake approaches, they can accurately judge the snake's distance and speed through their compound eyes, then adjust their body posture to prepare for an ambush. The snake hunting process of giant mantises is also very distinct. Divided into 5 stages: camouflage, ambushing, attacking, subduing, and feeding. During the camouflage stage, they perch on plants frequently visited by venomous snakes, pressing their bodies tightly against branches or leaves and remaining motionless to hide via mimicry. When a venomous snake passes by unawares, the mantis immediately enters the ambushing state, slightly raising its forelegs to prepare for attack. During the attack, it extends its forelegs at an extremely fast speed to accurately grasp the snake's head, as the snake's head is the nervous system control center, controlling body movement and perception. Once controlled, the venomous snake loses all ability to resist. Subsequently, the giant mantis uses the spines on its forelegs to pierce the snake's eyes or brain nerve center, injecting its own digestive juices. The mantis's digestive juices contain various proteases that can quickly break down the snake's tissues into a semi-liquid state, facilitating feeding. There are numerous field observation records of giant mantises hunting venomous snakes. In 2019, a wildlife enthusiast abroad captured the entire process of an African green giant mantis hunting a venomous snake on the African savanna. A 20-centimeter-long small viper crawled through the grass and stopped on the branch where the mantis was perched. The mantis immediately launched an attack, grasping the viper's head with its forelegs, quickly subduing it, and then beginning to feed. Additionally, insect enthusiasts in China have captured footage of Chinese giant mantises hunting venomous snakes in Xishuangbanna, Yunnan. A Chinese giant mantis grasped a 15-centimeter-long young cobra, continuously adjusting its body posture to avoid being wrapped by the snake, and finally successfully eating it. These cases confirm the predatory ability of giant mantises and break our inherent perceptions of insect predation. It's important to note, however, that giant mantises do not specialize in eating snakes. Their main food consists of insects, small frogs, lizards, and more. Hunting venomous snakes is mostly a choice when food is scarce or a defensive attack when threatened by snakes. From the perspective of ecosystem functions, predator-prey relationships also promote material circulation and energy flow. After predators hunt prey, they convert the prey's energy into their own, then return materials to nature through excretion, death, and other processes for reuse by producers like plants. For example, after a crested serpent eagle hunts a venomous snake, it digests and absorbs the snake meat's energy for growth and reproduction. Its feces contain rich nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, which can improve soil fertility and promote plant growth. Additionally, the existence of predators screens out weak, old, and sick individuals from the prey population, retaining healthy and strong ones, improving the genetic quality of the prey population and promoting healthy population development. For example, when mongooses hunt venomous snakes, they tend to target smaller, slower individuals, while larger, more agile venomous snakes are more likely to survive. This selection pressure promotes the evolution of venomous snake populations, enhancing their ability to adapt to the environment. However, human activities have severely disrupted these predator-prey relationships, causing significant impacts on ecosystems. In recent years, due to overhunting, habitat destruction, environmental pollution, and other factors, the populations of many natural enemies of venomous snakes have declined sharply, leading to uncontrolled growth of venomous snake populations and triggering a series of ecological problems. For example, in some mountainous areas in southern China, overhunting of wild boars and destruction of mongoose and crested serpent eagle habitats have led to a surge in cobra and five-step viper populations, not only increasing venomous snake attacks on humans, but also reducing the populations of frogs, lizards, and other species, disrupting ecological balance. In some regions of Africa, The extensive use of pesticides has caused a sharp decline in giant mantis populations, leading to an increase in small venomous snakes, which also threatens local agricultural production and human life. Therefore, protecting these natural enemies of venomous snakes and maintaining the predator-prey relationships between them is an important measure to ensure ecological balance. This requires us to take a series of actions, such as establishing nature reserves to protect their habitats, prohibiting overhunting and improving laws and regulations on wildlife protection, reducing environmental pollution to minimize impacts on their survival, and strengthening popular science publicity to enhance public awareness of ecological protection. At the same time, researchers need to further strengthen the study of predator-prey relationships, deepen understanding of the mechanisms of coevolution between species, and provide scientific theoretical support for ecological protection. Only in this way can we maintain biodiversity in nature, ensure ecosystem stability, and achieve harmonious coexistence between humans and nature. Well, that's all for today's content about the underrated natural enemies of venomous snakes. I believe after watching these, you have a deeper understanding of ecological balance in nature. If you know of other underrated natural enemy relationships in the animal kingdom or have relevant observation experiences, feel free to leave a comment below to share. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.